Supply chains always have to adapt to prevailing retail trends. And with more of us doing our shopping online, from our gadgets to our groceries, logistics firms have to optimise how they get things from our desktop to our doorstep. To find out more, we sent Sasha Harriman to meet Neil Ashworth, CEO of Collectplus, to find out what's in store for the industry.
I'm joined today by Neil Ashworth, who is the CEO of Collectplus and also the chairman of CILT. Good to have you with us, Neil. What is the changing face of the industry at the moment, and how are you meeting those challenges?
Well, I think the retail industry has changed significantly in the last around 10 years, really. The situation that we saw through the 1980s and the early 1990s of what we'd probably class as rampant consumerism has probably passed. You know, the consumer is far more in control of the overall retail experience now and chooses when to play and when to pass. There is a real polarisation happening within the retail industry, and customers are looking for value and actually looking to treat on a more consistent basis. What we're trying to do is to facilitate those kind of retail requirements and providing the consumer with an extension to the control that they're taking. So the retail market is no longer around big box out of town retail. It's about a multi-channel or increasingly an omni-channel offer where the consumer is at the centre of the retail experience, and the retailer is increasingly trying to standardise their brand, shall we say, across all of the different channels for the benefit of the individual consumer.
What's been the impact post-2012 and the Olympics on the industry? How has that affected things?
The Olympics presented a number of challenges, particularly around the way in which the retail market was going to service its consumer. And the retail industry and the logistics industry, in a broad sense, came together and considered how it would meet those challenges. They were met largely in within the M25 through out-of-hours deliveries. And so retailers were making deliveries into their locations during the twilight and evening hours at a time when it wasn't going to add to the congestion challenges in and around London.
So tell me about the use of the internet within your industry and how it affects it.
The internet is changing the way in which retail works within the UK and across the world at the moment. You know, if the internet was a sector in the UK economy, it would be the 5th biggest sector in the economy. It would be bigger than education, it would be bigger than construction, it would be bigger than a number of other major sectors that attract the news and the press. The internet is changing the way in which we work at the moment, and it's having a huge bearing on the way in which logistics runs. So, gone are the days where simple supply chains actually move product down from the manufacturer into a retail store. Now you don't know where to put the inventory because a consumer today might shop in a store, tomorrow they might shop online. And so there are real challenges for logisticians around where we deploy inventory, how we provide a different service experience for the consumer, and a whole array of new challenges that are coming into the marketplace. So it's quite an exciting time for logisticians within this new internet landscape.
So what kind of lessons can we learn from other retail markets around the world?
Well, I think the first thing that we've got to recognise is that we are actually sitting in the most advanced online economy in the world at the moment within the UK. Whilst we can learn things from around the world, particularly in terms of cultural requirements, in terms of geographical challenges, this is where it's actually happening at the moment.
How has the industry been affected by the recession, and how is it coming through that?
I think what we're actually starting to see is an enormous polarisation in the market that's happening at the moment. That's in terms of the way in which the retail market is starting to shape up for the future. We are seeing something of the order of 1 in 7 retail properties in the UK now being vacant, and I think that trend is only going to continue. We could see by the end of this decade around 20% of retail stores closed within the UK, and therefore that brings a challenge onto the high street in terms of what are we going to do with that space. And the answer to that will not be brought by retail alone. It will become far more around leisure and entertainment. But we're still in a position where everything that we buy, everything that we want to purchase, actually has to be delivered by the logistics industry. And so the challenge still remains about where we're actually bringing the product to. It may be to your home, it may be to a high street, it may be to a collection point. You know, the opportunities are almost endless.
And would you say that it presents, as an industry, an exciting career opportunity for young people?
I don't think it could could be any more exciting than it is at the moment. There is a seismic change going on within retail as we sit here today. And the opportunities that that is presenting for people coming into the industry, which is increasingly vibrant and increasingly challenging, have never been more exciting, really.
And it's more than just planes, trains and automobiles, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's far more than planes, trains and automobiles, although those are key elements of the environment. We are about providing the most outstanding service to our consumers, whether they are travellers on a train, whether they're large organisations buying pallet distribution services or individual consumers buying pens and pencils. It's about the whole of the industry moving products for our end consumer.
Neil, thank you very much.
You're welcome.